So at this time, I'd like to call to order the July 21st, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting. For all those who can, please stand and join in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we start the meeting, I would like to disclose that we did have an executive session on June 26th at 5 p.m. to discuss personnel and legal matters. We had another one on July 1st to discuss personnel and the property acquisition. And we had one this evening at 5 o'clock to discuss personnel and legal matters. At this time, we'll open the floor to public comment. Please, for everybody who is signed in, step to the podium, state your name, address. This is for taxpayers and residents only, and please limit your comment to 5 minutes. So the first one up is Dennis Hamilton.
This is not my thing, so, but anyway, I just have some questions about the format. I haven't been to a lot of these meetings, and that's my fault probably, but when I used to come to the meetings, it was to discuss the issues, and there was question and answer time on each issue, and we could put our input in, and then the votes were taken. Now it seems like this is our only opportunity, and if we don't know what's going on, as we get to some of these issues, and we hear this issue comes up, we don't have opportunity, we haven't signed our name in, we're not called up front. There have been times, to be fair, you guys have made exceptions when you've been here, and you've let people say things from the floor during voting time. The other issue is, I'm not sure why a lot of these things need to be done in executive session. I understand it's personnel issues, and those are private issues. Legal issues, I can probably understand that, but when it comes to purchase of property and things like that, why not have that discussion where we can all hear it, we can all know what's going on, ask us if we have any suggestions, however you are, I think, representing us. So I'm just asking the next question, why this format, not the way it used to be? I understand, I'm sure it's much more efficient, you guys can get in and get out, but is it really fair to us, not being able to give you input? And you guys don't want us calling, we don't have your phone numbers, you don't want us calling you guys during the week, asking what your thoughts on your input are, so this is the opportunity for us to do that. The other issue is on this new land purchase. I'm all good for that if you can promise me that it's not going to be raising the taxes down the road. If you've got enough money to cover this in the budget that we've already set up, we're not going to be taking out loans for it, we're going to have to be obligated for it. I think we need to set examples for the federal government that we can run something without having to continually raise our taxes and be taxed at the same time. But we're going to have the land acquisition costs and demolition costs and maintenance costs. It's just an ongoing thing. It'd be great to have land for the township, but can we really afford it? Is that really what we want to do? The last thing is substitute supervisor. Unfortunately, Tim's not going to be able to be with us. My suggestion would be, well, from my experience, it takes 6 months to a year to get somebody to be up to speed in a job. So if you're going to have 6 months to a year getting them ready to go, why don't we look at somebody that has already had this experience, that's already been a township supervisor, understands the township, understands the workings of the township, and can hit the ground running. Or have somebody that's already got a significant number of votes from the township, let him get in a little bit early, get some experience, and then if he wins the election, he's ready to go, he's already going to run. That's what I have to say. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate all you guys do. I know you're not doing it for fame and fortune. So, thanks for that.
And you did a good job for not licensed.
That's our Pat Sterling.
Then he wanted me to go first, but I said, no, you go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Pat Sterling, and I live at 124 Red Brush Trail. I served as an auditor many years ago. I also served on the zoning board a number of years ago. position, it is my responsibility tonight to represent the voters. I learned last week of Supervisor Tim Zakam's decision to resign his seat on the board due to family obligations. Since Tim and I both go to Divine Grace Parish, I have some awareness of Tim's situation. I know that many of Tim's Lancaster Township friends and neighbors appreciate the circumstances, and we will be keeping their family in our prayers. We acknowledge, too, his service to our community. Tim's departure will necessitate the appointment of an interim supervisor to finish what remains of his 6-year term that will end on December 31st, 2025. In the municipal primary on May 20th, Mike Dobin received 61.9% of the votes, making him the Republican nominee for supervisor. Mr. Dobin also received sufficient write-in votes from Democrat voters to make him their nominee as well. Based on these election results, it is pretty safe to say that Mike Dobin will be elected on November 4th. It's only 3.5 months until Election Day, and so it is logical that Mr. Dobin should be the person chosen to fill the vacancy. The appointment of Mike Dobin is not unprecedented. Butler County Judge Maura Palumbi won both nominations in May of 2022. Governor Shapiro appointed her to serve in the Butler County Court of Common Pleas effective July 3rd, 2022, before the general election in November. Obviously, there is a precedent to make such an appointment. It would seem inappropriate and a rejection of the wishes of our voters to choose anyone else, given the small amount of time remaining in Tim's term. I am hopeful that I can rely on you to respect the choices of the voters in both parties. I would ask that you appoint Mr. Dobin to finish Tim Zakam's term, and I thank Tim. I wish you were here tonight. I thank Tim for his dedication to Lancaster Township. Thank you.
Next up, Steve Christowski.
Steve Ruskowski, 105 American School Road. Rich, is the township budget, are we on budget or over budget? You know? You comment on
In some areas we're over budget, in some areas we're under budget.
that? You don't know.
About 80,000.
We're $80,000 over? Okay. Do you think it's safe to drive a zero-turn mower down and back on Route 19 at 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning? Well, our township crew did do that, because we had to go mow the police station. Are we gonna get reimbursed for that?
Yes.
Does that zero-turn have an orange triangle on the back of it? I'll be honest. When is the road crew gonna mow the Burns? I think we mowed it once this year, the Burns Road.
We've done it once, right, Barry?
Yeah,
Yeah, we will do them again in August.
because we usually do them 3 or 4 times a year.
We do them twice a year.
Well,
Once in the spring, once in August.
prior to you coming, they done them 3 or 4 times in a year. Prior to you coming. Why is the township purchasing more property to house the new township building? On the original plan, it's for the,
That's cost.
what's that?
That's cost. We'll go through that.
Okay. Because we redid the plans on that, and they think we paid $10,000 to revise those plans. We're gonna have to do that all over again.
There'll be some cost. But overall, it'll be a big city.
I understand that the zoning planning board had to reschedule their meeting because of sufficient people weren't notified on all sides. That's gonna cost us extra money. Where's the good planning to make sure that doesn't happen? Because we gotta re-advertise that and everything, correct? lawyer fees all over again. Last thing. Do you know how much we have paid Cintas so far this year? For,
Yeah, I don't, but I need that number.
yeah, it's almost $5,200. Okay. Kiski Dowd uniforms, almost $10,500. And then we have Twisted Ink, another $750 million. I mean, that's a lot of uniforms. But we have 7 officers.
It's the best. It's the best.
It's the best?
Yes.
Okay. That's all.
Thanks, Steve. Next up is Dale Herr.
Good evening. Thank you for, I'm a resident of the township, I'm the supervisor of Mike Township. And a week or so ago, there was a legal notice in the Butler Eagle about an ordinance you were approving, or I think you did approve, on a boundary change of the township line. And it names Mike Creek Township in this ordinance. We have no idea what you guys are doing. Now that property on that, down there at the bottom of the township, all you needed to do was write a couple letters to get this fixed. We follow the law too, Muddy Creek, and we do this with a letter to the county, to the opposite municipality, done deal. And no, we don't know anything about this and what you're doing.
It's
I brought my solicitor with us from the township tonight. I need you guys to explain why you did something so grandiose when it would have taken 2 letters of where the township, which township was gonna collect the township tax because of the position of the house. Because there's property in Lancaster, property in Muddy Creek. Position of the house and the septic will be in Muddy Creek, will be in Muddy Creek Township. All it would have taken was a couple of letters. But you went to all this, and again, we were never notified about anything, just we're naming it, and we approved it. So, thank you.
Be happy to talk to you and your solicitor after the meeting.
Pardon me?
Be happy to talk to you and your solicitor after the meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Except John Meyer.
Ron.
Ron Meyer, 335 Campground Road. I meant to bring this up at last month's meeting. In May's meeting, you appointed 3 people to the planning commission, but you only voted on 1 of them. This piece of property you want to purchase, did the township have it appraised?
You did,
You did? When was the appraisal done?
a month ago.
How much?
Yeah, how much was the property appraised for?
$1 million.
Pardon me?
$1 million.
What are you paying for?
Yeah, what's the purchase price?
$1 million.
Well, we didn't get no good deal on that. And how can we figure that paying $1 million for a piece of property is cheaper than building a building on a property we already own?
Because we did the analysis on what a new building would cost and what the existing building would be to rent.
You're gonna retrofit the existing building with a township building.
Correct.
It's gonna take more than $1 million to retrofit it. Okay, when are we gonna grade the ditches of the road?
Okay?
It's on the schedule. We've already done some of the roads in the township.
I mean, I drive around the township a lot, and I've noticed that the grass burns. I know everybody likes their grass burns, but the grass is growed up and the sods up above the edge of the road. The water can't get off the road, and it's tearing up the sides of our road. We need to get these ditches graded with a road grader so that the water will get off the edge of the road to the ditch. I mean, it's been years since these roads have been graded. And from 6 years ago, when Larry ran the township road crew, he graded the ditches every year with one other guy. I don't understand. You can't seem to get it done anymore.
Thanks, Sean. Next up, Charles Scott.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Board of Supervisors, in 1939, a movie was made in Hollywood starring a very young gentleman from Indiana, PA, and it was called Mr. Smith, that's right. So some of you did see it. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and in that movie it was very, very controversial at the time because it brought to light a lot of the things that were going on in Washington that were not above board. But in light of all the things that came against Mr. Smith, he stood on his principles and he chose to do the right thing. And tonight I implore the Board of Supervisors to do the right thing by the township and all the elected individuals and the residents that live here. I ask you to appoint the person that won the primary, Mr. Mike Dobin, and to allow him to fill the term of Tim Zinkham for the rest of the balance of this year. On a second note, I have reviewed as the chairman of the Board of Auditors, I've reviewed the budget for this year, and I haven't seen anywhere where we have $1 million to purchase property as a line item, and I don't see anywhere where we have a line item that allows for the reconstruction and remodeling of said property, which is probably going to cost another $1 million if a person would conservatively estimate that. So I would implore you to make some wise choices and do the right thing by the township residents and not raising our taxes and not causing any further debt encumbrances upon the residents of the township. Thank you.
That's all we have signed in, so we'll move through the agenda. Moving on to the item 3, consent agenda. Move to approve the minutes from the June 19, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting. Those minutes have been circulated. Any questions from staff or from you, Rich?
No, I don't have any. I make a motion to approve the minutes of June 19, 2025 for the Supervisors meeting.
I second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Move to approve the bills to pay from June 11, 2025 through July 14, 2025, totaling, and the actual number is $79,916.37.
I second the motion, or I make a motion to approve the bills to be paid from June 11, 2025 to July 14, 2025, totaling $79,916.37.
I second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item 4, old business. Move to release the final payment for the stormwater project on West Lancaster to Holden. That total amount is $9,535.
I make a motion to release the final payment for the stormwater project on West Lancaster.
I second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item 5, new business. Move to accept reluctantly the resignation of Tim Zinkham as supervisor.
I also reluctantly accept, or make a motion to accept the resignation of Tim Zinkham.
I second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Move to appoint a new interim supervisor to fill Tim Zinkham's role that ends on the December 31st, 2025. So we have met with Lisa Wiley, who is the vacancy chair. We had an emergency session with her. It's in the board's decision that we should elect a neutral party and appoint Lisa to that role for the next, till Tim's term ends on December 31st, 2025.
Who is she? Who is she, Grace?
She is the vacancy chair, appointment.
Do we know her?
I don't know the answer to that.
Do you know her? What is she?
She's from Morris Woods.
Nice. We figured that. Okay. You're running down the right trail.
Yep, she's from the Black River plan.
Good call.
I make a motion to appoint Lisa Wiley as the new supervisor to fill the term in camp at 12/31.
Nice, real nice.
I second that motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I'll make a motion to appoint Rich Marcotte as vice chair of the board of supervisors.
I second the motion to appoint Rich Marcotte as vice chair.
Who runs the show anymore? Huh? Yeah. Nope.
Public comment period is over, thank you.
Yeah.
I second the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Move to adopt resolution 2025-10 for the application of the DCED multimodal grant for Scott Ridge Road, Dogwood, and Hucknagel Road. This approaches about $850,000. This is what
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-10 as the application for DCED multimodal grant for Scott Ridge Road, Dogwood, and Hucknagel.
I second that motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Move to approve the purchase of the property at 600 Perry Highway to be used as the township campus in the future for public safety, administration, community service, and park expansion. So this is roughly 13 acres that butts up against the park. This will, based on our estimates, cut the cost of building a new building at the park in half. So it'll save us, we believe it's
Greg, why is it cut in half? We're still building the building. Why does it cut in half?
significantly less, but the property is cheaper.
So you're still building the same building?
No.
May I?
Yes.
No, not really, but go ahead.
We will be able to utilize the two homes on the property, one for police station, one for administration. We will build a community center between those two properties. The garage that they have will be large enough to house all our public works equipment, and we can move it there. We can move all our salt sheds there, and we will be able to move all our aggregate, everything that we have on this campus, out of here.
What's wrong with here?
Mary, that's not true. Have you been in that building? Herm had 2 roll-offs, had 2 packers, and everything where the cars are sitting is all too low. You can't even get a skid steer in there. So don't blow wind up my ass telling me that you get everything in there. I've been in that building. I know that building. So don't.
There will have to be expansion eventually.
Right.
For other things, there will be. But we're planning to move also the fire district there to get it out of this location with grant money, if it's possible.
If possible. Let's see the grant money first. And why do you want to move out of, you want to move out of this building down here?
Because it's dangerous there for them to get in and out.
So no one thought about that when you put it in to start with? Well, you did.
I wasn't there.
I get that. I get that. But the fact of the matter, don't blow smoke up my ass.
I'm not.
Yes,
There's
you are.
two
Mary.
septic systems. No, there's
We've
two
done
septic systems.
extensive stuff.
We've already had architects out from the county to take a look at this. We're not
How much
just
is
doing
it
this.
the cost of renovations? So you're paying $1 million for the property. How much is it cost?
They're paying $1 million for the property.
$1 million up front, not in the future, up front so you can move.
Why do we need to move the road crew? Everything's here. Why spend the money to move everything?
Every meeting, Mr. Meyer, every meeting, I have Connie stand up and talk about the traffic here, the congestion, the trucks.
Election.
The traffic coming
Great
through,
election.
through here. There's not access here.
Nobody's
I get
saying
complaints about the fact that people renting the center have to look at all the aggregate and salt.
Don't run the
Put
building.
somewhere up there. Don't rent the place.
Multiple points of egress is also important when you're talking community centers.
You got one way in, one way out, Eddie. Ingress, egress.
Where? Here, not there.
Yes,
It ties to the Clark property.
ties to the park property.
So there'll be multiple points of ingress
Put in
and
a road.
Pardon me?
Well, the cost of a road.
So
You're gonna have it anyway.
Hang on, I saw the supervisor talk, please.
public comment is over. Mr. Hamilton, see, we do have discussion.
Well, then table, okay, great, public comments over, table this until next month. Then we can get on the list.
Well, here's the
Then
question.
public
I
comment.
signed something that didn't get called for public comment, first of all. So there were multiple sheets back there I signed in, I didn't get called for public comment, first of all. Great, thank you.
Don't approve it, let it go till next month, then we'll get on public comment.
John Perry, 1022 West Lancaster, so I border both the park and this property. Two things. One, 2010 Dodd-Frank laws went into place, changing appraisal standards. What I would love to know is, has the township released the appraisal for everybody to review? Okay, will you release the appraisal before the vote?
No. No, Mary doesn't want to.
Well, and there's a very, listen, here's the reason why. After the 2010, so I've been in real estate, I've run all of Coldwell Banker real estate for all of Western Pennsylvania, been doing it for 22 years. When the Dodd-Frank laws went into place, the change of where appraisal standards go based on time and length of the appraisal. I would love to see the standards used for that appraisal not tied to an agreement of sale, because there's not an agreement of sale already tied to it, and so therefore, the opinion of value is just that, it is not tied to a purchase price to do that. Secondly, we're paying $77,500 per acre, which by my calculation from every other piece of property sold in Lancaster Township over the last 5 years is 5 to 7 times the value per acre, which in my opinion is completely and totally out of line. Now, as far as my value of property, love the idea that my property value is going to that. Don't love that my tax dollars are going to pay 9 times the appraised value of all the other.
If I could interject, first, the appraisal was done by a licensed appraiser.
There's 3 different standards for the licensed appraisals is what I'm trying to say to you. Which is why I'm requesting that before a vote goes through, that somebody releases this so that somebody, does anybody else have real estate experience and development on this board that's going to vote on this? And why hasn't the public seen the appraisal that was done on this property when it's our dollars that are going to pay for it?
So the other part about property values from earlier is there have been 2-acre parcels sold up on Whitestown Road recently.
That's a development, that's different.
It's
different.
John, I'm speaking. Can you be polite as well? We're polite to listen to you, right? Those sold for $210,000, $100,000 an acre. A 5-acre parcel is for sale right now on Scott Ridge for $395,000.
For sale, not sold, sir.
It's in process. There was another parcel down on Farm Road. I think that was a 4-acre parcel that sold for $400,000.
Okay, so can I,
So there is property that is selling.
please, anybody saying something logical would be great.
That was
I'll tell you why in a
But
second.
as a realtor, you may appreciate it. If we go and release the appraisal before we purchase the property, what's to say that the buyer doesn't say they want more money?
They're the seller.
I mean, the seller wouldn't want more money.
Then we build out a park.
So, two things.
That's why, under the Sunshine Act, executive sessions allow for the purchase of property.
I'm well aware. What I'm saying to you is we're out of line on the valuation of the
Well, we
property.
can argue about the valuation, but the reason for that is clear because of the same reason for the Sunshine Act.
Okay, can I finish now, gentlemen?
You may finish.
Appreciate that, thank you. So to answer your question about those parcels, you're talking about individual, single-family home building lots, and usability has been taken into account for this. So when you take the cost per acre on the usability of a lot like that versus the property that we're talking about, how many of you guys have ever walked the woods down in that property? There is no usability in the value of that property because it is a wetland. 100% unusable. So now when we start to value the acreage in the midst of that property, until you get up on the back side of the hill, on the bordering of my property, or all the way to the front end where the buildings are that you guys are talking about, you've got a zone of half the acreage that is completely and totally and will always be completely and totally unusable. So that's where I'm telling you, your appraised value doesn't hold water, although the property does.
It does hold value to the township, it simplifies our part.
Okay, you're still spending our dollars to do it without releasing the information. Yeah, you're 100% correct.
I'm not the Airbnb, but I will give his opinion for everything on real estate, everything. I will interject on that.
About what?
John's opinion on anything with real estate, I honor what he said. So.
Yeah, I request that before a vote is done, you release the appraisal, because they can't, you let them ask all they want. Guess what? That's called negotiating. Because it sounds like you guys didn't negotiate at all. You said, here's an appraisal, we'll take it with face value without any other expert outside opinions giving value to that or negotiating. It was, here's appraised value, here's the purchase price. Thank you very much. We're going to go vote and not release any of the information to anybody else. That's all I have.
Sorry, what was your name?
John Perry, 1022 West Lancaster Road.
Great, man, I have one question.
Yeah, John.
Did the property pass the level 1 environmental study?
Oh, we haven't forgotten that.
I've already talked to the county about that, we're going to do that for free.
And we have the.
What if it doesn't pass?
They'll do the phase 2, that's a grant that they will provide, we've already made arrangements.
Well, because I know for a fact that that term had a dump back there.
Yeah, we're good, I took the county out of it.
There's a lot of unwanted in there.
I'm new, I forgot to sign in, I have one simple question. I have 592 and 586 adjacent properties to the property being spoke about tonight. I have a firing range that goes alongside the edge of that property. What would you do zoning wise, and would I lose that capability to shoot and hunt back there? Thank you.
You got it.
And no, really.
I mean, to the extent that it's what's called a non-conforming use that predated any particular zoning, you'd be allowed to continue that same use.
So there would be a 200-yard firing range right next to your municipality and park.
Potentially. If that use predated.
It's been there for 20 years, I don't plan on stopping using it.
I did that already.
He gave us that information 2 months ago, so I don't rely on him.
Right. Get that.
Yeah, get it in writing. Honest to God, I'd walk and have them all sign it. Oh, absolutely.
Right. Question,
Yes, Steve.
how much is their taxes going to go up because they're not, they're not going to go up? Why do our taxes go up?
Where's the $1 million coming from?
It's 2 million, remember?
Well, where's the $2 million coming from?
Land, loans and grants.
And we have that grant in hand? Do we have that grant guaranteed? No. So you're thinking that we know we can bring money to the park. And you got something on your right now. We've been cutting back on a little bit. Stupid money.
I live right close to it.
With sunflowers.
The goal would be to
Mr. Chairman?
ultimately
Reclaiming my commentary time, if I could, please. My question is, if this real estate transaction goes through and the township moves up there, what's to become of the property here, the park, and this historic building we're all in tonight? Does the township manager have a plan for that?
No, but we talked about it as a board and potentially sell some of this property.
You're gonna sell it off?
I don't think you can. Ballard Park was donated to the township.
It was donated, it was.
To be a park.
Purchased with a grant. It was purchased with a $35,000 grant. Yeah, I have the document.
I
them in writing too. I'd love to get a lot of stuff in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Thank you.
No, you can only go up there on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I'll make a motion to table this item until.
Good call.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. Moving on to the agenda, move to approve $10,000 for stormwater project at 139 Shingle Hollow Road. So this is an issue Tom's been involved in, Ed has been involved in. Want to add some commentary or color to this?
There is a stormwater issue from a pipe that was crossing Shingle Hollow Road. In my opinion, there's an issue because the property owner is getting water, gravel, etc. I don't know that it's a township issue, because again, the township doesn't own the watershed that's contributing to the source. So, in this particular case, the plan that was involved was approved back in the 70s prior to the township having an ordinance that has any mandates for stormwater control or anything like that. Even so, comparing that to today's standards, that particular roadway, if it was developed today, would have stormwater, but again, the township wouldn't be responsible for that stormwater. The HOA or the property owner would be responsible for it. So, in this case, there's a roadway, there's pipes on that roadway, there's a discharge on the top of the hill that contributes water into this watershed. I mean, the township's responsibility pretty much ends at the right of way where that pipe discharges. And that's consistent with any other developments that we have in the township, whether they were installed in the 70s or recently approved. And so again, there's water coming down, there's water crossing. I just don't know that it's the township's responsibility to make the repairs to fix this. Again, there is an issue, again, with water coming down. Certainly, the property owner has a problem with that. There are improvements that can be done to remedy that problem. I just don't know that it's a township issue.
Do you have any insight on that?
My opinion is that the pipe was put in long before that driveway was put in. And the pipe that goes underneath the resident's driveway would have always been assumed by the original homeowner and builder to maintain that pipe going under. And the fact that it draws out and is causing an issue, I think should fall under the homeowner's responsibility for the township. That's my opinion.
If you don't have a recorded maintenance agreement on the driveway, that's not true. Talking about carrying the deeds.
Can I comment? I know it's not public comments over, but considering this is our property, the township did in fact put a pipe in there larger than it was in there before. It's a new pipe. Prior to that pipe being put in there, the existing, it matched the size of the pipe that's been going on our driveway long before that pipe was put in under the township road, the current pipe. And so now, the road crew did a great job correcting my neighbor. They went onto the neighbor's property and dug out and cleared one of their pipes. Unfortunately, that all this stormwater runoff off of Jenny Drive now just overloads the pipe that they put in. And I don't know why they put a larger pipe under the road than the pipe it actually feeds that's been there long before they put the pipe in. So when they made that fix, which is great, they did a great job. I thank them for doing that. And I do thank the township for actually taking time to even look into this. I do appreciate it because it's been 10 years I've been bringing this problem up. But regardless, that pipe has been functioning perfectly fine for 35 years until the township put the pipe under the road, dumping water onto our property. So that's...
How old's the pipe in your driveway?
Older than 35 years, you know. But it was functioning fine until a month ago when they made the changes that worked, which they did a good job, so I'm not complaining about that. Appreciate them going, digging on my neighbor's property to correct it, and they did it, and it worked fine. Unfortunately now, and over the years, I've had to do all kinds of stuff. I had to put an extra riser pipe in my pond at my own expense to cover. Literally, I collect all the storm water from Jenny Drive, all of Shingle Hollow, all of Pleasant Hill on that side. I should, I was jokingly saying I should collect $72 per resident for stormwater runoff, because I literally take all the stormwater runoff from you even, from your house. So,
You know, $10,000 is a big expense. Stormwater is an ongoing issue throughout the township and for every township. We've had a lot of rain. I'd like to come down and take a look at it for
in all honesty, I was surprised that we didn't when they came and discussed it, which I appreciate them doing. We never discussed the solution that they came up with. In fact, we discussed other solutions, and I think Tommy Thompson presented two. I'm sure Ed had reason for choosing what he did. I'd like to hear them, but we never discussed this option, which includes taking down a giant tree, which my wife would love, but that's a pretty big expense. I think it could be done less expensively and differently.
So I'll make a motion that we table this to investigate it further as long as some resolution.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to the agenda, item 7, planning, land use and zoning. Move to approve Ardenwood Phase 6 request to release funds of.
Oh, you skipped one. You skipped one there, Greg. Go back up to 6-3.
Move to authorize the solicitor to consent to remand the Meyer versus Lancaster and Wrigley 19 LLC case AD 2025-10766.
I second motion to authorize the solicitor to consent to a remand in Meyer versus Lancaster and Wrigley 19 LLC.
I second the motion. All in favor?
Hey, Greg, now, for all of us that don't know what's going on, what's that all about?
What does that mean?
Tell us. Get in there, John.
Mr. Meyer filed an appeal of the Wrigley decision, the curative amendment, where the appeal is he alleged there were some advertising issues both with the curative amendment hearing and the advertising of the ordinance itself. Rather than argue that, the parties have agreed to remand back to the Board of Supervisors, basically re-advertise, redo the hearing, and that's where it is.
Go back to square one.
Back to square one.
Back to square.
Wow. Nice.
Who filed that?
Mr. Meyer.
Mr. Myers filed it with some support.
And because the advertising ultimately falls on the solicitor, I'm not gonna charge any fee for the appeal or the remand.
So I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, moving on to the agenda, item 7, planning, land use and zoning. Move to approve Ardenwood Phase 6 request for release of funds totaling $1,650. That is $1,500 plus a retention of $150 for their financial security. This leaves a balance of $40,306.20.
Is that the total that they requested?
Tom?
Yes, it's a small amount, that's correct. They had requested a larger amount, we did not recommend a larger amount, so that's the only amount that we recommend.
Why?
We're not satisfied with the work that was performed, so we're looking for more investigation into that work, so until that's satisfied, we're gonna hold off.
I make a motion to approve Ardenwood's Phase 6 request for release of funds totaling $1,650, which is $1,500 plus a retainage of $150
I second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to the agenda, move to approve Ardenwood's Phase 4 and 5. Request for release of funds totaling $23,221.83, so that's $21,110.75, plus the retention of $2,111 for financial security, leaving a balance of $224,017.78.
I make a motion to approve Ardenwood's phases 4 and 5. Request for release of funds.
I second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on, building permits issued in June was 8, year-to-date is at 6, that takes it to 63. Moving on to staff reports. Attorney report, John, anything to add this evening?
No report.
Manager's report, Mary.
We will be posting on the website, asking for anyone that is having well issues to reach out to us, and also anyone that is still having broadband issues to reach out to us. We're working with the county on the broadband, and we're working with Jackson Township and the potential to work with PA American to bring water to certain areas, especially the trailer park on High Acre that doesn't have water. On that note, we have received word from the DEP that their water group is investigating entities to see if they should be on a public water system. The township building and the community center is not on public water, it is on well water. We also share one septic system for both. We're having that septic system inspected. Because of that, the recommendation was that we limit the amount of use of this building for public events. So Debbie has worked so hard, and she brings so many wonderful events to this building, but we have to limit that. So we will not be scheduling any more events for this year until we actually approach the idea of bringing public water up here. So I will post the information from the DEP on the website as well. We're also working on our stormwater runoff on private property, updates our responsibilities, and what can be done to prevent damage, and that we'll be posting that as well. This is review it before I post it.
Administrative report, Shirley.
Nothing to report.
Engineers report, Tom, anything?
Nothing.
Police report, Mike, anything there?
No, sir.
Room, add anything? Zoning, anything there?
Excuse me, Ray. I don't understand why we never have a report from any of these people.
It's easy.
I would like to know if there are burglaries or if how many speeding tickets or, you know, I just don't understand why there's never a report.
Good point. Thank you, Tom.
It is recommended that we do not post these reports.
So you can't tell us, Mary, if there was 23 arrests this week or anything like that? Is that, I mean, we brought so many more police now, but we need more police if we've only got 13 reports as opposed to 113. We have no clue. And I live next door to them. And it's clueless. So you can't, Mike, you can't say how many people were arrested this month, or are you not allowed to tell us?
It's an investigation, you can't release anything, well, it's still under investigation.
We used to report it.
A lot. Traffic tickets, wrecks, burglaries. Used to report it every month.
No, we don't do that.
And it was no tall, dark secret. Everything's a big, tall secret now.
And even Mike, not here, Eddie, how many roads have you patched or what? I mean, your report is nothing. It's not that you put down 150 ton of 2B or anything, I mean, absolutely nothing. Are you buying salt for next year, are you doing anything? But that's all we wanna know.
Okay, so, we did post that Bellis Road will be closed next week to do the base repairs on Bellis Road. We're finishing up Woody Wilson. We did do the burn work on East Lancaster last week.
Frankie said
We did
great
patch
job.
work on Huffnagel Road, Dogwood Road. We've been getting the park ready for the event this weekend.
I don't mean to.
Yeah, let them finish.
We've been getting the park ready for the event this weekend, working with, Jerry's had a couple questions. We did receive our new map. It is here. We're having some issues with it. They're gonna fix a couple of hydraulic leaks that are on it. But other than that,
But see, that's.
Well, that's all, that was excellent, that was perfect, that's all.
That's really nice.
Because when you say nothing to report, we're not sure if you ever got out to lunch room.
May I share one more thing? I apologize. I meant to put this in my report and I didn't. We had trucks that did severe damage on West Lancaster Road, and we're in the process. It's gone to our insurance carrier because we want to get the money back quickly instead of going through the restitution route. So that is in process. So we did put a note out on Savvy Citizen, be careful on the road, and as soon as the adjuster gets out here and inspects the road himself, we will get to work and repair the road.
And it's significant, it's over $70,000.
It is significant.
Yeah.
More than $70,000.
Yeah, because you get the reports, you might as well take 3 through 7, I'll say print. We have hearing. So it would be nice to hear what's going on, and I mean, still, is there anything on anybody applying for anything in zoning or anything, or?
I think we already reported on what the permits were. I have sent out some, violation or warning notices.
Okay.
I do not publish who those are to. I don't think there was anybody here who would want to publish, and I don't think it's necessary. But yes, I do send out warning letters. I answer zoning questions all day, every day.
I mean, as far as that, so you would say, had 32 zoning issues this month that we issued. Just a number, I don't need the person's name or anything, just to let us know what you're doing, or what's going on.
Right. Point well taken, thank you. I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Can I ask one more question? Back to where Mary commented about the DEP and the 24. So you said that the DEP is coming in to do the inspection on your septic up there, and then they're.
No, I said the DEP has an issue with community event space, and I'll publish the report, that when you're when you have well water, and you have events where people can drink the water, and there's more than so many people in a space any given time. For example, this room tonight, with as many people that are in here, the assumption from the DEP would be you're all using the bathroom, you're all using the water. They would have issue with that, and this building is used quite often. On top of the fact that that same well is shared with the township building, with all the employees that use that space. So they're questioning whether it's safe for us to use well water for this building for public events.
Okay, and how is this current area, how would that address, how would you address that?
That's public water.
You're gonna tap into the public water.
Yes, that's public water.
Now, Mary, you're saying with all the employees of the building, how many are there?
We have, in the office at any given time, there's 2 people, and then there's 3 road crew that use the bathrooms and the sinks.
So that's 5.
That's 5.
Okay.
But this space uses a lot. That space we can't do anything with, but this space, we can limit the use of this building. And that's the question, should we run public water to this building? It is on Route 19, on the other side of Route 19. What is the cost? And can we do it? But we also have to make sure that the single septic system that supports this, that's older, is in good enough shape to continue to use, for this building to be used for public use. So that's not an unrealistic ask.
No, when they brought the water up, was you supervisor joining that? Did the township get a tap? Did they buy a tap off of them for $25 at that time?
Zero.
The water tap?
Zero.
It was zero at that time.
Penn American
It's
doesn't
still-
charge you to tap in.
Oh, I had to pay 25.
That's to generate and start your account.
Okay.
Go to your account.
So you can tap in for zero, all you'll have is the money to get the water up here. I've never spent that money. Yeah, I'm not opposed to bringing that up at the next meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.